So you can be an entrepreneur no matter the role that you're playing, no matter where you're working, whether you are going to have your own business or already do, or you work for someone, or even as a teenager in a home, you have a little family economy there with mom and dad, and you've got things to do in the home. You can be a little bit of an entrepreneur to create solutions to problems that can help the family. Welcome to How I Started, the podcast where we share the real stories behind remarkable entrepreneurs and the companies they've built. I'm Connor Boyack, your host and president of the Children's Entrepreneur Market, where we help kids ages 5 to 17 launch their very first business. In each episode, we'll explore how great ideas grow into lasting success, what lessons shape those journeys, and how mentorship builds the next generation of entrepreneurs. Whether you're just starting out, scaling up, or looking to inspire others, you're in the right place. Let's explore the stories that prove every great venture begins with a single step. Hello and welcome to our inaugural episode of How I Started. I'm Connor Boyack, president of the Children's Entrepreneur Market, and throughout this podcast, I'm going to be interviewing successful entrepreneurs, sharing their stories of how they got their start in the early days, especially as kids. What lessons did they learn? What experiences did they have? And what are the insights that they can share with you who are listening, whether you're a teen entrepreneur trying to get your start and figure things out, or you're the parent of kids who you want to become entrepreneurial. I want to stress at the outset, who is this for? Who are we talking to? I strongly believe that you don't need to be a business owner to be an entrepreneur. To me, entrepreneurship is critical thinking, problem solving, and value creation. You can do that as an employee at any company. I have many employees who work for our organization. They can be entrepreneurial. They can think and act entrepreneurially. Why? They can think critically about a problem. They can try and solve the problem and then create value for me as their employer, for our supporters, for our clients, for our customers. So you can be an entrepreneur no matter the role that you're playing, no matter where you're working, whether you are going to have your own business or already do, or you work for someone, or even as a teenager in a home, you have a little family economy there with mom and dad, and you've got things to do in the home. You can be a little bit of an entrepreneur to create solutions to problems that can help the family, right? So entrepreneurship, I think, is for everybody. We want kids of all stripes to learn how to think and act entrepreneurially. That's why we established the Children's Entrepreneur Market. This is a program where kids can launch a business. Kids age 5 to 17 can sell real products for real money. We operate over 1,000, 2,000 events around the country where kids can launch their business. These operate kind of like farmers markets, but they're run entirely by the kids. So you can go to kidsmarkets.com to check out what we're doing and get started. And this program started a few years ago because we operate a think tank where we try and change laws from kind of a free market perspective. And there was one summer, I think it was 2016, where that summer, for whatever weird reason, there were all these national headlines of little kids' lemonade stands getting shut down. Perhaps you've seen some of these headlines. The lemonade stands were shut down because these kids didn't have, say, a business license or a food handler's permit. I thought it was ridiculous. I went to a buddy of mine in the legislature. I said, what if we did a bill, ran a piece of legislation that said, if you are a minor under the age of 18, you do not need to get any kind of business license, any kind of permit, don't have to collect sales taxes. Let's just let kids be kids and have a totally free market for youth so we can lower the barrier to entry and help them get involved. We got that law passed in my home state, Utah. We were the first state in the country to have a law like this. Our think tank has since helped, over a dozen states pass a similar law. And technically, throughout America, in the land of the free, you are supposed to, even if you're a kid, obtain a business license for any economic activity. That means if you're babysitting or mowing lawns or walking dogs for pay, in theory, technically, you're supposed to go get a permission slip. Now, most cities don't enforce it, but sometimes they do, and that leads to these crazy national headlines. So after we got the law passed in Utah, we thought, hey, let's celebrate, let's do something. So we launched a kids market to kind of have fun, and the demand was through the roof. We were clustered in a little parking lot, and there was a ton of demand. Parents were saying, when are we going to do another one? Their kids wanted to do another one. So we grew it in Utah for a few years, and then we started growing it around the country. And now we're helping tens of thousands of kids a year, soon hundreds of thousands of kids a year get their start, selling products of all kinds. Now, we have a curriculum to help them. We have all kinds of support, but there's so many lessons that we can draw from successful entrepreneurs who themselves were dabbling in entrepreneurship as kids, figuring things out, and then went on to become very successful financially and creating amazing businesses that serve their customers and create products and services that are awesome. There's so many lessons that we can draw from people like that. Hence this podcast. I'm going to be talking with a series of successful entrepreneurs and trying to draw out of their minds and their recollections, what are those early experiences? What are those lessons they learned as a kid that they can impart to you listening? Whether you're a teen entrepreneur going through our program, whether you're a parent, you've got kids, you want to help support them to think and act entrepreneurially, no matter who you are, these lessons are going to be impactful. And so we're going to do short episodes, get to the root of the matter. What are those key lessons? What would these people tell their 12-year-old selves, for example? If they could mentor their younger selves, what are those lessons that they've later learned that they would impart? So these are going to be high-value episodes. They're going to be fun episodes. We're going to be talking about success and what does it take? How can we help young people, whether you're a young person or you've got kids? How can we help the rising generation think and act entrepreneurially? So I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll share. This is content, frankly, that our society, our country desperately needs. We need to inspire the rising generation to think and act entrepreneurially. And there's nothing like this out there. So I hope that you'll join us, stick around for How I Started, that you'll subscribe, that you'll share with your friends. Let's build a community around helping young people get into entrepreneurship. So for now, for your kids or you as a kid, you can go to kidsmarkets.com, find a market near you, come get started. We'll have that curriculum. We'll try and support you the best we can. But on this podcast, we're going to be talking about amazing stories, important lessons. And so I hope you enjoy, hope you give us feedback. I hope you like and review and share to help us get this podcast going and reach many more people so that these lessons can make a positive impact on thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of lives across the country and across the world. So let's dig in. I'm excited to share with you the first series of interviews that we've done with many more to come, and How I Started.